Hello, my name is Leanne King and I manage the national selection process for oral maxillofacial surgery. Thank you for reserving an interview slot to join us. The interviews will be virtual and you'll not need to attend in person. The specialty of OMFS will be using Cupicom, which is a virtual interview system, and within the email that you've been sent, there is a hyperlink to access the online system. Prior to the interview days, it's important that you register with the system, and to do this, please click the hyperlink in your email. You will land on the home page. Please click the initial login forgotten password, and this will take you to a reset and will be able to set your password. You'll receive a system-generated email to the email address that you've used to apply to reset your credentials. Something to think about is that when the email comes through, can you action it straight away, as the link will expire in 5 minutes. If the link expires, then you can do the same process again. When you initially log in, you'll progress through a diagnostics check. This check will check your internet connection, your camera and your microphone. If there are any problems that are identified and will prevent you logging into Cupicom, this will be diagnosed as part of these checks. We do really strongly recommend that you do this prior to the interview day, so avoid any problems on the actual day of the interviews. If you have identified any problems logging in, there is a help button which you can click, which initially will take you through a question and answer session. But if you're unable to resolve your problems through that, then you will be able to have a virtual chat with a technician from Cupicom. So we do recommend that you do this. Okay, so moving to the interview day, when you log into the system, in the same way as we've described above, you will initially enter an applicant ID checks room. This is where you will be held until the interview starts. It may feel that you've been there a while. We do hope to get you as soon as possible, but we do invite you to interview so that we can do your ID checks about 20 minutes before the interview starts. If you do experience any technical difficulties when you're logging in, then you can give us a ring on our candidate support line, which will be in the email, but I can give this to you now, and the number is 01454 252610. That line will be manned all day, and it will be specifically to give candidates support with logging into the system if you have problems actually on the day. So when you're logged into the system, you'll go into the virtual room, and there will be, although you will be on your own, there will be 3 other candidates rotating around at the same time, which is one of the reasons why you may need to wait before we come in. A member will come in to the room and will check your identity, so please have your passport or your driving license ready. It will also be an opportunity for us to go over the process in a little bit more detail of what's ahead, and to also for you to ask any questions. So before you enter each of the interview rooms, you will go into a preparation room or reading time prior to the interview room itself. And any reading material that you need will be displayed on the screen. If there isn't any particular reading material for that particular station that you're going into, there will be a message displayed on the screen to say that there's no preparation needed. During this time and throughout the rest of the interview, there will be a timer that counts down, and when it reaches 0, that is when you will move to the next part of the interview. This process will be repeated until you complete all of the 4 interview stations. You will not need to click anything to move through. You will automatically move through the rooms one at a time by the system. We do ask you not to log out at any point and just to stay logged in. When you go into the interview itself, you will be greeted by the panel. The panel will be made up of specialty representatives. There may also be a lay representative or an observer in the room who will have their camera on when you enter the room, but will turn the camera off throughout the interview. The lay rep is present to check that the process we're running is fair and consistent across all candidates, and the specialty observer is there to check the process for development and improvement for years to come. As you progress through each stage of the interview, you'll see a countdown timer, and 1 minute before the end of each section, you will receive a notification or a prompt to say that you've got 1 minute remaining, and then you will be moved. So at the end of the process, you then will be sent a message to say that the interview as a whole has finished and now it's time to leave the system. Please do not leave the system before the process has ended. In each of the interview rooms, you will see a leave button at the bottom. If you press that button, that won't leave the system, it will just leave the room. So if an interview does finish early, you may be asked to press that leave button. The interview panels themselves will focus on different competencies, and you will find those details on the recruitment website. One of the panels will include an actor where you will carry out a role play or a scenario. You will be given details before you enter the room, and we will ask you to start the scenario as soon as you enter the room. In a similar way, you will be entering a room in a clinic with a patient. So you will be updated in a separate communication about the next steps and when you will hear the outcome of the interview. But we welcome all feedback. So if you have any comments about the interview, we would like to hear from you, and you can reach us on our recruitment hotline or our inbox. So that just leaves me to say good luck. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you at your upcoming interview. Thank you. Bye-bye.